So welcome back to Summer Games Done Quick 2015. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank TinyBuild, the sponsor of the ad you just saw. TinyBuild is an indie developer and publisher known for games like Speedrunners, Divide by Sheep, and Lovely Planet. They just released No Time to Explain on Steam and Xbox One, so check those out. Supporting and working with indie developers around the world is something they do, and you can also follow them on Twitter at TinyBuild. So thanks TinyBuild for sponsoring us for this marathon. We have a $50 donation from Bob620. Hyped for Mopey's run, and best of wishes to him from me and all of the Kika chat. We also have a $50 donation from Brent Taylor. I just love how big all of this has become. People playing games at a high level, making a profound difference in the world for several years now. I hope it continues to grow for decades and generations to come. Thanks, Brent Taylor, for your donation. Got a $20 donation from Taz. Shoutouts to Indy Jones. This goes to letting Malik die in Deus Ex HR. $30 from Pliskin22. Awesome for Crack for acknowledging the crowd. So I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank World9 Gaming. World9 Gaming is a premier computer and console gaming provider for events across the Midwest since 2005. They have dedicated staff, tournament expertise, and expansive collection of games and consoles. They provide the best gaming experience at lowest cost for all events, large and small. For more information on booking, you can check world9gaming.com. So stay tuned for the next and final game of the Mega Man X block, Mega Man X4 X100% by MopeyJoe. So right now, a couple updates on the bids. So Julius versus Soma for Castlevania Dawn of Sorrow. Julius is currently in the lead with $431.82, and Soma has $380 even. So get your donations in to influence that. Okay, we all set to go?
Okay. Okay. 3, 2, 1, go.
Woo!
All right, so this is Mega Man X4. It's the first Mega Man game, X game on the PlayStation. And I'll be running X 100%. It's a little bit different than 0, and by a little bit, I mean completely different. So as you can see, he has a buster. He can dash jump just like normal. It's pretty much just like your classic old X from the X1 through 3. Although there's a few minor differences from the SNES series. They're very, very minute details about how you, like the core mechanics like movement and such, and that they don't want to get hit there, but it's not a big deal. So this is just the intro stage. It's pretty staple in the X games. And there's quite a bit of plot. We gotta mash through that. We don't want to watch the plot. All right, so nothing too special going on. If you have like a donation, then you can read it.
I do not at the moment, but I will take the opportunity real quick to say that if you want to see controller cam for Kirby Superstar, that's only sitting at $802.69 of the 3,000 total needed, so get your donations in for that if you'd like to see that.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good. So get your donations for that. All right, so this is the first boss. He's known as Origion. He has a little bit of R&D tied to him, but it's nothing too time-consuming. What we want him to do is we want him to stay on the ground as much as possible. So let me see if I can get it. Okay, no, he got up there, but that's not too bad of a pattern either. So when he flies off screen, it wastes about 2 or 3 seconds. But he's almost guaranteed to fly off one at least once. It's a big time loss if he goes off screen twice there. Thankfully he didn't though. So we're all good.
You sort of want to have X and on the left side of the screen, so the screen scrolls a little bit less right here.
Yeah, further left, the less it scrolls. So this is Colonel. We'll be meeting up with him later, after the 4th Maverick and after the 8th Maverick we fight. So we got a cutscene to skip and then a lot of text to mash through. So this is just introducing all the 8 Mavericks. Gives them a little stage in their introduction and whatnot. Basically just plot. We don't want plot. Okay, so we start off the run with Dragoon. His weapon is very useful in the speedrun, especially once we get the buster upgraded later on in the run. We also do...
Go ahead.
Okay, we also do the Dragoon first because we have to revisit at least 1 Maverick, and Dragoon's revisit is the quickest. So.
Dragoon is also very easy to deal with if you only have the stock buster, so
yeah.
Prime candidate for first Maverick.
Yeah, with just regular old X, he's very easy to take down with just buster.
For a lot of bosses, for some bosses, you actually don't want to use your weaknesses, and it turns out that even if you have Magma Dragoon's weakness, which is double Cyclone, it's actually slower than just using Buster for the most part, so you having his weakness here isn't really that useful.
Yeah, a lot of the run later on, once you get the Buster upgrade, actually comes down to managing your shots, because you get an upgrade later on that allows you to store 4 shots, and you want to manage those really well throughout the stage. And shot management is not as important early on, but you still want to know where you're placing your shots and everything.
Also, there's a hard tank he just passed by.
Yep.
He's going to get it on a revisit because it's faster to get it with the Shoryuken.
At the Shoryuken, or the Charged Rising Fire, we use it quite a bit in this run as well, and we need the Buster upgrade to be able to get it. All right, so that's the Dragoon stage, and this is the Dragoon fight. The strategy here you want to use is half-charge shots. The time it takes to charge up a half-charge shot is the same amount as his iframe, so what you want to do is get really close to him and fire as much as you can.
By iframes, he means invincibility frames. So when you hit a boss, they're invincible for some time, and this varies depending on the boss and the weapon you use. It's also the reason why Double Cyclone is pretty slow on Magma Dragoon, because even though it does 4 damage as opposed to 2 damage.
Gives them about 2 or 3 seconds of iframes.
It was a good fight.
That was a good fight.
That was a good fight, yeah. Okay, and this is the only Maverick where you actually have a text box after you kill him. Every other Maverick, every other 8 Maverick doesn't have that. So this is Rising Fire. It's a very useful weapon in the speedrun, and we use it 2 times on the Web Spider stage, and we go there right now. So Web Spider stage, we actually get our first armor piece, and that'll be the boot upgrade. The boots will allow us to hover, and it'll allow us to air dash. We very rarely use hover. We actually don't want to use it at all until the final Sigma fight. But the air dash can be a little bit useful in certain spots, especially for newer runners if they need to save themselves from falling into a pit. And some other small movements. So there's an enemy coming up. We want him to jump up, and there we go.
There you go. Nice.
We do a little manipulation there, so he jumps up and we go right under him.
Nice.
And I even got fastball too, nice.
That fall's a lot harder to do than Lux.
Yeah.
It's a very precise gap that you have to fall through, and it saves a little bit of time because you now have the dash speed as you fall. So we call it fast fall. And there we go, boot upgrades.
So this is the 100% category, which includes collecting all 4 armor pieces, and that was just one of them. The other include a helmet, an arm upgrade, and a body upgrade.
Yep. We also have to collect all the hearts and EX tank and the sub tanks as well.
There are 3. Sorry, Mo.
Which includes 2 E tanks and a weapon tank.
Nice.
Okay, that's a good
Very
little
good.
jump right there. Okay, that was a good climb too.
Good climb.
Really good.
Okay, I want to destroy that guy there because he has a tendency to jump after you when you try to climb up that ladder. So you just do 1 full charge shot and then a regular shot, and it takes him down. All right, at the start here, I'll be using 2 regular shots and then switching over to fire to the 2 shots to take down the snakes there, and the fire is just so that I have it out for later.
So unlike the SNES games, when you have a different weapon equipped, you can still use your Buster Shot. It's just mapped on a different button.
Yeah, it goes true with all the other PlayStation Mega Man games as well, including Mega Man 8 as well, I believe.
Yes.
All right, so this is the heart tank right here. This is the first of 8 we get. We also use the fire on this trunk right here. It's a little bit of a shortcut. Oh, there we go. So we damage boost off that. Saves a little bit of frames, and upcoming is Web Spider. Web Spider also has a bit of RNG in him, and it can be pretty annoying at times, but nothing too terrible. What we want him to do is we want him to stay closer to the center of the screen, so that way we have a easier shot to him. What we don't want him to do is go far left to the wall that we're on, and we also don't want him to rise early. We want him to fire off a web every time he comes down, so that way we can get 3 hits on him for 3 cycles. Okay.
Nice.
Okay,
Very nice.
That takes him to phase 2. Once he gets down to half health, it'll take him to phase 2, and he'll drop down. He's invincible right now, so I can't hit him. So he'll drop down to this web, and he'll move all around. The very first attack he'll do, he'll always send out these little spiders, and then the next 2 attacks will always be webs, and then it repeats the pattern. I damage boost off that just so I can avoid the web easier. All right.
That was pretty much perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good fight.
You really don't want to get grabbed by these electric webs, or else you get stuck for like 2 or 3 seconds and take a lot of damage.
All right, so coming up is the Storm Eagle of Mega Man X4. All right, so here's Lightning Web. It allows us to shoot off a little web, and we can use that web we can basically create walls that we can jump off of, and we need that to collect the Buster upgrade in Storm Owl stage. So the first area is pretty simple. We just hop in on mech, and then we just pretty much hold right until we're in area 2. So nothing too special. We do have to be a little bit timely though, because there's a heart that we have to get. But it's not really an issue to collect this one. If you wait too long, then the heart it won't be destroyed, but it'll fall into a pit. Okay.
Thankfully, the timing on getting that heart is very lenient, so...
Yeah, and it's right here too, so... Yeah. If you wait too long, that UFO will destroy the ships, and you will not be able to collect the heart unless you die or come back to the stage. Yeah. you want to manipulate the shots to destroy those enemies before you get here.
Nice.
We also want to try and get the mech as far up in the screen as possible, so that way we teleport sooner into the next area. And I'm going to focus a little bit because I need to do something called spike skip.
There's a tough trick incoming.
Oh. Okay, that was pretty bad positioning by the web. So basically what we do is we can use web there and get across the spikes. There's a few different ways to do it. That's the damageless way. There we go.
He has to do it again here.
Oh,
and there we go.
There we go. Nice. Very nice.
So there's actually 2 separate arm upgrades you can get here. You can only choose one of them. He's going to get the closer one, which gives him stock shot, which allows him to store up to 4 charge shots. The other shot is what we call plasma shot, which goes through enemies. But
and it also leaves a plasma once it hits an enemy. And you can change those parts if you want, but you just have to come back to the stage. But the stock shot's faster for the speedrun because it deals with enemies and bosses a lot quicker.
Plasma shot generally doesn't hit multiple times for each boss. It only hits once for 3 damage, whereas each stock shot does 3 damage, so it saves on charge time.
Also, I just realized I got a 1-up.
Congrats.
Yeah, so this is Owl. Owl has a lot of RNG with him.
This is easily the biggest reset point in the run right here.
Yep. We want him to stay on this platform. We want him to stay level with us the entire fight, whether that's this top platform or the bottom one. It doesn't really matter as long as he's on the same level. Okay, this is actually a pretty good fight.
Yes.
I can be kind. Oh, that's not good. Okay.
That was really good.
That was good.
When he goes to the center of the screen like that, he's preparing for his super attack where he will send out a lot of his cyclones and they spin around the screen and they're really hard to avoid. And it also creates kind of like a barrier in between him and you. So you're gonna have to damage boost through it to get to him.
Yes. Older iterations of the route used to do Owl last after you have his weakness from Peacock, but it's very slow to give up the Buster upgrade so early.
Yeah, the Buster upgrade is very useful for quite a few mini-bosses. In fact, it's used on all the mini-bosses in this run, I believe.
All of them, yep.
Yeah. I don't think we mentioned that the arm upgrade also allows you to charge your other weapons, which is really important.
Yes.
And I'll be showing that off in the mini-boss for this stage.
Yes. None of the mini-bosses in this game actually have invincibility frames when they take damage, so the charged Rising Fire shreds mini-bosses really fast.
He's going to Frost Walls right now, 1, because he has the arm upgrade and Rising Fire, and 2, because he's going to face Colonel after the stage, and Colonel's weakness is Ice Tower. So he wants to have the weakness speed to use that on Colonel.
Okay, so I kind of messed up a cycle there. The quickest way to get through that room is to be able to get on that top platform before it disappears, but...
That cycle's really tight.
Whew. Yeah. There's another little tight jump right here.
Nice.
Yep, that allows us to get up there and get the EX tank without really wasting another wall jump on the right wall. Okay, so here's another fast fall down these blocks. All right, and here is the Frost mini boss. He's pretty much RNG for the most part. You can manipulate him depending on where you hit him in his arc, but we don't really have a setup to manipulate him, and that's not the one we want. You can do 1 of 3 moves. You can either close his hand like that. Okay, that's what we want.
2.
The other move he can do is he can clench up and smash the ground and go up, and that wastes a lot of time. We want him to do the attack that you just saw, where he winds up to a charge against the wall. That pretty much just leaves him wide open for attack.
Also, shout out to Chill Penguin.
Yeah, he was chilling in the background if you saw. And Blizzard Buffalo was at the start of that stage too, if you noticed.
You also saw Mopey pick up the EX tank in the first area there. The EX tank is 100% useless in a speedrun, but it is a permanent item, so we do have to pick it up for 100%.
Yeah, what the EX tank does is it gives you 4 lives if you game over or if you load a save file. And we don't do either of those in the speedrun.
Hopefully not, anyway.
Yeah. Okay, so this is Walrus 2. This is
a lot hard to do that.
Yes.
Yeah, this
that was a really good one.
Oh, okay.
Just kidding.
I had to make it a little interesting. But yeah, that's a really fun part to do when it goes well, but it's really frustrating when it goes wrong. Okay, so Walrus here, there's no RNG associated with him as long as you hit him with Rising Fire. Because the little thing about using the weaknesses on bosses here is that it kind of resets what they're doing, kind of like in Mega Man 8 as well. So what I'm going to do here I'm going to hit him so that he goes to the left, so that way he gets out of his iframes faster. And hit him 3 times, jump over him, hit another time. And that actually resets his iframe because he switched animations. So he goes into a second attack.
Very nice.
Right there,
Very nice.
so that was a good fight.
To note, the charged Rising Fire was important because it does 5 damage, and he used the charged Stock Shot, which only does 3 damage.
Yeah, so it cuts down on one more attack that we have to wait for at the end of the fight there.
The uncharged Rising Fire does 4, so as long as you're adding up to a multiple of 4, you're fine.
Yeah.
You're not going to lose any damage.
All right, so we got Frost Tower. This is very important for the Colonel fights. And I say fights because you fight him twice, and the first of 2 fights comes up right now.
To note, Zero actually does not fight Colonel here, just the extra cutscene instead.
Yep, this fight doesn't take very long, but it still has its fair share of RNG, and it can waste about up to 10 seconds if you're unlucky enough. And if you really poorly manage your Frost Tower, you could actually run out on this fight.
Show me what you've got.
That's actually what you want him to say, because that's also what you want him to do, but I messed up the attack a little bit, but not a big deal. Oh.
So you can see Mopey using the charged Frost Towers here. They do a little bit more damage, but they're a little bit risky if you don't know what you're doing because they use a lot of your ammo. So you need to make sure you're landing them if you're going to use them.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I didn't die there. Nice. So what I said, that's what you want him to say there. The Colonel fights and the Sigma boss battles, they have RNG associated to what they say at the start of the fight, and some are shorter than others. All right, so this stage is a little infamous for X4 runners, because the past 2 times this has been in a GDQ, the runner has died both times. So I would like to focus here and hopefully get through the stage without dying.
Ooh. Hey, okay.
I play it safe. Okay, area 1 down.
Nice.
Area 2 isn't much of a threat, really.
So what he's doing with each boost here is that he's jumping and then immediately boosting, doing a dash, and then going back into the ground, so you can act immediately again after each dash.
Yeah, it's essentially the opposite of what we want to do for the rest of the run, where we want to dash and jump. We want to do a jump and then dash, so that way we're moving at dash speed all the time.
In X4 and X5 also, in the bike sections, dashing in the air scrolls the screen slightly faster than dashing on the ground, so you want to make sure you're always in the air before you dash.
So this is kind of an auto-scroller, but you can sort of speed it up with every dash you use, so you want to dash as much as possible. And there's an energy tank, E-tank coming up here. Got it.
Okay, that was a little tight, but I still got it. Oop.
Whoa.
I jumped there and I didn't mean to. You want to land as close to the ground as possible, so that way you're in the air for less time. All right, so Stingray is also a pretty RNG heavy boss. He can give you a couple extra dives that you really don't want him to do. He has 2 attacks in the first phase. He can shoot out little mini Stingrays, or do that, where he can just dive. So this is the Stingray attack you want him to do. And then he does a dive after it every time, and I did that in practice too. Okay. So Stingray is...
Trolling.
Yeah, Stingray is a pretty mean boss in the speedrun. Okay, now that he's in yellow health and he's on the side there, he's going to shoot these red Stingrays and most likely go up, but we can kill him before that happens.
Stingray's kind of similar to Magma Dragoon in that if you use his weakness on him, his iframes are a few seconds long.
It's a lot slower.
And it's even worse, actually, because he flies off the screen
goes off
after.
the screen and you have to wait for him to come back.
Yeah.
And when he's frozen, you actually can't hit him when he's in that block of ice. So you really, really want to avoid using his weakness there. I just have it out there just in case we get the correct situation to finish him off with power.
Yeah, what you said. His weakness does do more damage, so you can use it to last hit him and save like 1 shot or 2, but you definitely don't want to spam it.
So at this point with the stage order, he's basically just following the boss weakness. So
yep. Slash B stage is a little interesting compared to the others. Area 1 and Area 2 have fixed transition points. From the transition from Area 1 to 2, it's fixed on certain intervals when you play through the stage. And I'll know which interval I got based on music cues. And it's a bit of a tight window, so hopefully I get it.
There it goes.
Not necessarily. It's a little tighter now, but it's not gone.
Yeah, this stage is annoying because of the fixed intervals. If you play badly, you can lose even more time than just the bonks on the enemies and such, because you'll have to wait at the end.
There's just a lot of enemies in the stage you have to deal with as well, so you have to make sure to dodge them while also shooting them out of the way.
Yeah, this stage is a little harder to optimize for X because of the fixed intervals and all the enemies in the place. You have to really, really manage your shots very well. Also, this stage is very notorious for having a very high health drop rate, and health freezes you in place when you collect it.
Again,
Nice
speaking about that.
Yeah, I think I got that early transition. Yes, I did. Okay.
Nice.
Nice.
That saves 3 seconds right there compared to the normal transition. So in an auto-scroller like stage like that, it's very nice to have that extra 3 seconds. And Area 2 has a similar mechanic, if either one of you want to explain.
Sure. So at the end of Area 2, basically the same thing happens where the train will stop and the brakes will come out on fixed intervals. So basically, if you get there on a bad cycle, you have to wait some extra time for the brakes to happen.
Okay, that was good.
There's also a ride armor in the
Nice.
stage with Mopey passed over. It is slightly slower to use it, but it's a lot more safe. So if you're newer to the game, it's definitely worth using.
Yeah, that segment is a lot harder than it actually looks. There's a lot that's going on, and if you're not in the correct position at the start, then you are pretty much out of luck for that segment of the transitions. Remember what I said about health drops. They're everywhere in the stage. So Slash B is coming up. We use his weakness on him, so it's very trivial. So if you have any donations to read, then now would be the time.
Sure thing. We've got a $20 donation from Motley. We finally know what the elusive MopeyJoe looks like. Best of luck to him on the X4 run. Now get that 2-cycle head Sigma fight and blow us all away.
Oh, I wish. A little running joke in the X4 community is I never use a webcam and I never had a picture of me up, so everyone was anticipating what I looked like on SGDQ. Yeah, what he was talking about, the 2-cycle ground Sigma. Normally you're only supposed to be able to 3-cycle them at best, but I'm still in the firm belief that if you get the right RNG and the right timing with your shots, you're able to 2-cycle them. But no one's ever done that yet.
Moby told me yesterday he was 1 shot away from it once.
Yeah, I was 1 shot away from it in a practice run, and I could have gotten it, but I had choked a shot, so it made me very upset. Okay, so now that we have Twin Slasher, we go back for the Dragoon revisit, because we need the Buster upgrade, and we need the Twin Slasher to get the Nova armor here. And it's in Area 2, so I'm just going to be traversing through the stage if you have any more donations.
Got tons of them, actually.
Oh, nice.
I got $50 from Idnax. I love watching MopeyJoe play X4. I first watched him when he claimed he wasn't a speedrunner. Such silliness. $50 from Blade of Rage. Hey, MopeyJoe. Good luck on the run and have fun. Also, shoutouts to everyone in the Kika group chat. You're all awesome.
All right, thanks, Blade. Okay, so going up, we have the Heart, and we also have the Nova upgrade. We are going to be using the Charge Rising Fire to show you to get the Heart tank here, because there's a couple different ways. You can either use the web, which is partly what they intended. You can use Charge Rising Fire to get up here, or you can do the Iceless strat, which is basically the same as the strat in X1. And there's another we call the Sneaks Jump, where we jump from a ledge. Also, that is actually a very tight jump to get there.
It's a lot higher than it looks.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's pixel perfect, probably not. But
No, it's a couple pixels, but I was lining myself up there just so I could get it. Okay, so that's Nova, and that's the Heart tank, so revisit's out of the way.
minor tidbit, he swapped to Twin Slasher, so he has to do less menuing to go to the escape button because your cursor starts in the bottom right corner.
Yep, and now we go to the Split Mushroom stage.
Did you explain the Nova Strike, Mopey?
I did not, no.
Okay, the Nova Strike is like, X4 doesn't really have the equivalent of X1 through 3's like ultimate weapon like the Hadouken, the Shoryuken, or the Energy Saber. The Nova Strike is a one-time thing mostly in every stage, or in every half stage. It does 6 damage and it makes you invincible while you're using it, so it's pretty important in the speedrun.
Also gives you a really far dash in the air.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Nova Strike also refills when you get health drops, and it also refills when you take damage. So that is a way you can refill it, but it's slower to refill it more than one, or it's slower to use it more than once, generally on any stage we have it on.
All right, this climb, good luck.
Have fun. Very nice.
Beautiful. That was perfect.
Yeah, that's very tricky.
And here we go.
And surprise, no mini boss.
Hey there.
So what we did there is we use a Shoryuken and then we use a Nova to jump over a trigger that locks the camera in place and forces you to fight the mini boss. But because we have that, we can just skip over the trigger and we can skip over the mini boss.
Yes.
To note, that's X exclusive. Zero can't do that.
Yeah.
And Zero can't get enough height, and it's not that he can't get enough height, he can't get enough speed. He can't get one or the other. He can't get enough height or he can't get enough horizontal speed to get across the trigger.
We used to do that trick with a web and an air dash, and it was a lot harder that way. It's very, very easy with the Nova Strike, so I'm really glad that someone discovered that.
That's part of the reason why we do Owl Third, so that we can get the Nova Dash after the 6th Maverick, instead of after the 8th, where we won't be using it too much. And this is just another auto-scroller, so any more donations, feel free to read.
All right, thank you. We have a $30 donation, excuse me, from Retro Gamer Ranting. Donated a bit yesterday, got the okay to donate some more today from the wife. I know you like to support your gaming friends, so go ahead, she said. Thanks, dear. Keep up the great work, guys. Oh, and have a heart, save the wildlife. $50 from Negralma. The Mega Man X games are some of my favorite games of all time. Renting them at Blockbuster Video and beating them are some of my earliest gaming memories. Thanks for donating your time. The least I can do is donate some money.
Okay, so what I did there was I skipped the last half of that auto-scroller right there using the Charged Rising Fire. And what that allows us to do is we can get into this fight early and we can pretty much put ourselves wherever we want. We want to put ourselves right next to this boss so that way we can get a lightning web right off the bat and save a little bit of time. Okay, good.
Nice.
So the rest of the fight is pretty standard.
You want to make sure that the webs are off screen, because if there's already a web spawned on the screen, you can't fire another one until it disappears. But if it's off screen, then you can just fire another one.
And that's Split Mushroom right there.
One more.
Yep, coming up next is Peacock. Peacock stage is also a little unique compared to the others. The first area has a ranking system when you run through it. But the ranking system is very generous. There was one time I actually did a run where I did no dashes, no charge shots, so just base shots. And I was still able to get an S rank on the first 2 segments. That's how generous it is. But with Soul Body here, the weapon we just got from Split Mushroom, it makes the first area very, very simple.
In the first area, there's essentially 3 longer rooms that you have to get through in a certain amount of time, and if you do, the game will reward you with a heart tank, an E-tank, and a helmet piece, respectively.
Yep, and we, of course, need that for the 100% category. The helmet upgrade we'll be receiving allows us to use regular special weapons infinitely, but charged weapons will still use ammo. So like I said, Soul Body makes this a little trivial because those yellow electric static balls, they will grab you and hold you in place for a few seconds. And Soul Body is the only weapon that actually affects them, and it just makes them disappear. So you could see just how trivial this next area is with Soul Body.
To note, Zero does also gets the same rewards, except for the fact that he doesn't get an armor piece. Instead, he just gets a life, which is kind of pointless.
Okay, so you've noticed that I have Lightning Web out. Like I said, we can use it to create walls. And we want to create a wall right about there, and we can use a dance to get up there. We can do it right here too. Saves a little bit of time.
And to note, Lightning Web, you can only jump off it once. After you jump off it or jump below it, it will disappear, which will become very important when you're trying to use it in combat.
That was really smooth.
Very nice.
Okay, so this is the helmet upgrade. Like I said, it reduces weapon energy use to 0 so long as it's not a charged weapon. And it's not too terribly useful for speedrun, but it's good to know that you can just shoot weapons whenever you want. And it actually is kind of useful for the last Sigma fight. so that way you don't have to worry about weapon usage. And so the gimmick with this area is that the screen will flip 180 degrees upside down completely when you press these buttons, and physics takes over these little purple balls on these ramps and whatnot. Something that should be noted is that when these balls are, falling, they will hurt you if you touch them, and you can't actually touch buttons when you're in your invulnerability frames. So we want to avoid getting hits to make sure that we are getting through the stage as quickly as possible. Okay, so coming up is Cyber Peacock. Again, a little bit of RNG. What we want him to do is that he has an attack where he will go over to the left or right side of the screen, depending on where you are, and he will fire homing missiles at you. And we want him to do that so that way we can get stock shots on him immediately. Otherwise, we just want to hit him with Soul Body and get him off screen. There is a strategy you can do here that involves hitting him with a stock shot when he appears on the ground, and then hitting him with Soul Body, but it requires him to do a certain attack. And if you don't get that attack, it actually wastes a little bit of time. Otherwise, it is slightly faster.
You're really unlucky with your peacocks today, dude.
Yeah, he's not being very kind.
There we go.
And Nova finished because why not?
Peacock has a chance to do that at any point during the fight, go up to the left or to the right, but as his health gets lower and lower, he has a higher and higher chance to do it.
Yeah, I believe it's after he gets down to 50% or 25%. He has a very high chance to do it, but he didn't do it there. So that's all day Mavericks down. Next up is the Sigma stages, quote unquote, because the first stage actually is completely different than the other three that you have to do. And this is the stage where the second kernel fight happens. I actually really like doing this stage. It's very fun to do. There's no RNG at all, so it's all based on execution. And when it goes right, it looks very nice. Oh, come on. There we go.
There you go.
That jump's a bit obnoxious.
Yeah, it's a little bit tight for whatever reason. Oh. Something interesting about the ledges here, the little gap jumps, is that if you're too low on a ledge, the game will push you out for whatever reason. And I found out recently that if you slide down the ledge and you get to that part where the game would normally push you out, you actually can't jump off that part. All right, so here's the second kernel fight. We can abuse his change in animations because they reset his iframes when he goes and changes an animation.
Right there. You just hit him with Nova Strike twice. You did 12 damage.
Yeah. Ideally, we'd want to hit him with 3 times in a row, but 2 is still okay.
2 is pretty standard.
And you can see that we actually do try and hit him with double hits with Frost Tower and whatnot as well, but it didn't really happen too much in that fight, but still, good fight.
The first one's very consistent. After that, they're essentially random.
Yeah. Okay, coming up is the actual Sigma stages. And the boss for this one is actually Double. You know, our friendly little guy in the football helmet who's just kind of aiding us. We skip a cutscene here because there's no plot.
Oh, spoilers.
The guy
No
named
plot
Double's
allowed.
a bad guy?
I didn't know
Oh
that.
man,
What?
I'm sorry guys, I spoiled everything.
Oh, dude.
But what about Iris?
Who's Iris?
She's not important.
Okay, so this stage is very short. We just damage boost everything, and then Nova's there. Normally Nova does do a lot more damage than the weakness for bosses, but it only really saves time if you cut down on one attack, and it does not cut down an attack for Double. So we use a Nova there to progress the stage further, or faster.
Some people use it to gap close on Double, but, I mean, it doesn't
really
really
matter.
save any time, yeah.
You're gonna get hurt, X.
Okay. If you say so, buddy.
He's very edgy.
So you really don't want to touch Double because he does a crap ton of damage if you touch him.
Yeah,
So you want to touch his weapons.
Any of the weapons he gives does 2 damage, and touching him, it does about 6 damage, so you really want to avoid hitting him.
And Charge Double Cyclone doesn't really do much more damage to him.
It does no more damage than regular, so...
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the general stage. This is a very unique stage in the fact that there's no... You don't get sent back to the Maverick Hunter base. You don't get a save screen at all. You just go right into the next Sigma stage.
It's a very weird design choice, but
Right, so there are two paths you can take. The bottom path is faster for both characters, especially for X. So he's taking the bottom path right now.
And here's our mech friend again. Oh, I got the backwards damage boost. That's nice.
Nice.
And that backwards damage boost only saves about half a second, and it seems to be a little bit random. Okay,
Here's
so
our friend
this,
General.
this is RN General, as we call him. He is a pretty random boss. It's thankfully a lot more generous with X. Also, before I actually do the fight, there's something interesting right before the fight. Let me just scroll by, and we have a typo here on General.
General.
What's interesting is that the text box before and after are spelled correctly, so I don't know how they could have made that mistake.
Show me your true power.
Anyway, this is General. His hitbox is very weird from the bottom.
oh my gosh, it's so bad.
See, like
that.
So we want to try and hit him at all times with Twin Slasher. We want him,
Oh man, these hitboxes.
ideally, we want him to do the same thing he does in Zero, where he goes up and does his fist attack right here. So we can just sit in this corner and hit him with Twin Slasher over and over. But like I said, the RNG doesn't waste as much time in this fight as X.
With the X with Zero.
Yeah. It's only like a couple seconds compared to like 20 to 30 in Zero, so.
Yeah, you're more likely to lose time from not hitting him with Twin Slasher due to the wonky hitboxes than you are RNG. Okay, so coming up is the refights, and the refights are very cool as X, because he gets 2 quick kills instead of just 1.
Good luck.
Yeah, and the first of the quick kills, I guess both are technically random, but the first one is more so random because if you're unlucky enough, you won't get it at all. But I hope I...
Yeah, that was pretty consistent. Spider's weird though.
Yeah, Spider quick kill can be a little mean. Okay, so my strategy here to get the quick kill is to have 4 stock shots, hit him with those 4 stock shots, hit him with a Twin Slasher, then a charged Twin Slasher, and then Nova him when he's off screen. If either one of you wants to explain how it works.
Sure. Essentially, the way this works is that there's a kink in Web Spider's programming where if he has invincibility frames as he's leaving the screen, he won't have them when he's off the screen. So you'll see Mopey go for a hit right as he's about to leave the screen.
Okay, I'm going to play it safe there.
Okay. And then he'll Nova him off the screen, so he'll take damage, a lot of damage, like that.
Okay, and we get the health underflow too.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Okay, so the reason the health bar underflows there is you're not supposed to be able to kill him like that. So the game gets really confused as to why you're able to kill him like that. So it doesn't know what to do with all that extra damage and just gives him a big negative number.
To be more precise, he finished off Web Spider right cutting the web, which you're not supposed to be able to do in the second half of the fight.
Yeah. All right, so Dragon Roof fight pretty standard. Pretty similar to the first fight, but the difference is that we want to damage boost off him a couple times to refill Nova for the Owl quick kill. And we want to take about quarter damage. Okay, we finished him off with Cyclone there, so it's a little bit faster. That should be enough damage to refill Nova.
Yeah, you're good. You're more than
fine.
enough.
And we need the Nova for the Owl quick kill as well. And like I said, the Owl quick kill, even though it's a bit consistent, there's a chance that he can snipe us with a Cyclone at the very start. So my strategy here is to have a stock shot, shoot him once, and then hit him with aiming laser, and then Nova him. It works similar to the Spider quick kill. Okay.
Okay, not bad,
Not too bad.
Yeah. It's kind of random which side he appears on once he flies off screen. Ideally, you want him to get down to a low enough health where the next twin laser or aiming laser will kill him. Okay, so the rest of the refights are pretty much the same. So if you have any more donations to read out, now's the time.
Sounds good. Okay, we've got $50 from Beacon Unicorn. Hey Mopey, Beacon here. Good luck on the run. Show the people which blue character is faster, Mega Man or Sonic. Greetings from Germany where it's 4 a.m. right now.
Thanks, Beacon.
So we still good for more, or do you need...
Yeah, you're still good.
Go for more.
Okay. Got $30 from Random Guy 44. First time donating. Really happy to catch Mega Man X4 live. One of my favorite games, and it's always fun to see you guys at work. What am I fighting for? A great cause, that's what.
You mean it's time to get serious?
It's time to get serious for a great cause.
Speaking of which, I have one of those. Oh. $30 from Calabeth. All right, it's time to get serious and for us to learn what we are fighting for, because it's not over yet. This donation goes to Mega Man and Bass, because Bass is just a side character.
So for those who don't get the joke, when X comes down to low health, he says, "It's time to get serious," pretty much, and it's pretty amusing.
And when Zero gets out of the yellow health, he says it's not over yet, so that was pretty cute. All right, you're still good for more.
Okay. We've got $50 from Beefman. Mega Man X4 was my favorite growing up. My brother and I used to think playing through with Zero was impossible. Watching it played through like this is more than great. Not sure what this event is for. Please inform me. Keep it up. Well, just quickly, we're raising money for Doctors Without Borders, so that's what we're doing here. So thanks for the donation.
All right, so really quick, because we're starting on the intentional part of this fight, I needed to develop a strat for this, so
Nice.
do a nice little strat here where we shoot him at the start, disable the web, shoot him again, and then do a nice little jump off the web and hit him again.
And now it's just pretty much the same as before.
Yep, so you're good to go for more donations.
Okay. Got $100 from Peter. Thanks to all the runners for showing my girlfriend that gaming means more than just having fun. She's a health policy professional without any gaming experience and couldn't be happier that you're all working to make the world a better place by volunteering your time for Doctors Without Borders. Save the humans.
Keep going.
All right. Got $50 from K Catan. As always, excellent gaming. Last I checked, the Super Metroid creatures are not animals. They're smart enough to teach you techniques. They should be smart enough to save themselves.
The Stingray, like the first fight with him, he's random, and we do the same strat.
Oh,
and he's being
man.
very mean.
Wow.
Oh, man.
Someone keep tally.
You're going to hit
That's 4.
7?
That's 4, I think.
Okay.
Aww.
I think the record that we have so far is 7 by Orsa.
Yeah.
No, that's 5.
7 consecutive.
7 consecutive.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, so that's just a demonstration of how mean he can be, and he's still being mean. Yeah. Ideally, we want him to go down after he gets into low health and use a vacuum attack, so that way we can finish him off with tower, but...
It's kind of crazy that he hasn't shown his vacuum attack at all in his run.
All right, you got time for maybe 1 or 2 more donations.
All right. We've got $10 from S. Vice. Awesome job to the runners during one of the best blocks for this event. Here's to me hoping I win some of that sweet, sweet Mega Man gear. $10 from Esky. First time donating to Games Done Quick and long-time watcher. Good luck to the runners. You're all doing great. Sadly, I can't watch my favorite runs due to work, but I'm glad I could catch the Mega Man X block and some of the Zelda run from last night. Keep it up.
Yeah, Peacock, more like the first.
Yep.
Same exact fight, and he's still not being very kind.
Oh, there we go.
There
That's
you go.
better than last time.
Mopey, while you're finishing up the refights, do you guys want to talk about some of the resources we have for new players who would want to learn X4?
Oh yeah, we do have a little wikia that we have, a little guide for new players that kind of helps them learn the route, learn the strategies, and whatnot.
Yeah. Mopey's put extensive work into the X4 RTA wiki, so definitely check that out if you guys have some time and are interested in learning more about the game.
All right, so that was the refights. Now's the Sigma fight. He has 3 phases. The first phase you actually see on screen right now was the Reaper phase, and he goes on pretty quickly to the only weapon that affects him is Rising Fire. And because for whatever reason he doesn't get the game doesn't like trigger him to despawn after he gets hit with Charged Rising Fire, so that's what we want to use on this first phase. Yeah, so that's phase 1 done. So now we got round 2 with Sigma 2. Lightning Web is his weakness here. Oh. We want him to throw the scythe on the wall there. If he throws it on the ground, he will land on the ground and then fire off a bunch of homing boomerangs, and they're very, very difficult to avoid. So it was a good.
That was really good.
That was a good phase 2. So now coming up is phase 3. It is
RNG?
It is RNG. This is where a lot of runs tend to die.
This is also one of the more complicated final Sigmas in the X series.
And So his weaknesses, his Gunner Sigma you see on the screen right now, his weakness is actually Soul Body, and his Ground Sigma is actually Ground Hunter. As you can see, I have Rising Fire out. We use that to take care of these heads that appear on screen. So, as you saw, we can only do that twice.
No 2-cycle.
Yeah, no 2-cycle, oh well.
All right, here we go. Nice.
There you go.
So he has an attack where he says the end, it fires laser, but he disappears immediately, so you can only at best 2 round him if he does that.
Yeah, each little Sigma has 2 attacks. That's the attack we want for Gunner Sigma. Ground Sigma we want. It doesn't really matter what attacks he gives us. The Gust attack is much safer, but like I said, I believe it's possible to get the 2-cycle if he gives you rocks and getting well-timed damage boosts. And he doesn't get to show off the rock so well. Okay, time is coming up soon. It'll be when I meet up with General after this door. So.
That was a really good fight, though.
Yeah.
That was a good fight. All right, so time is now. Okay, not bad, not bad.
What was it?
46.06.
Oh, not bad. Not bad at all.
Oh, that was a pretty good run overall. Okay, so unfortunately, I'm gonna skip this cutscene. Do we have time to show off one more trick real quick? Okay, I'll take real quick. So, unique to this game is that when you quit out of the game or soft reset, like with Start Select, you can use the current data. And doing it there takes you back to the refights. So there's a pretty interesting glitch that you can do with X in the Spider refight involving Twin Slasher. And this is a showcase of what to never, ever, ever do in a speedrun as X.
I learned that the hard way.
Yeah, same.
Why doesn't anyone do this? Oh,
Okay.
that happens.
That's why.
Yeah.
Okay, so this glitch is so simple to pull off. You can just use it with one hand and one button. And I'll explain what happens when it happens. It's something that you have to see to understand. Okay.
Oh, hey there.
Oh, hey.
What's up?
So as you can see, Spider's here again. I mean,
And
wait,
he's
what?
dead, apparently.
Actually,
Okay.
he's just not here. He's a ghost. So what happens is that the game doesn't know what to do with that. It's expected that the game does not expect you to be able to hit him at the start of the fight, so it gets really confused and despawns him. But his web is still there, so you can hit him, and you can cut it by.
Oh.
And this goes on forever. So, and you can do this however much you want. So.
Hey, his web's gone. Oh, there it is.
It's
There
not
it is.
quite a soft lock. You can still take damage from the web like that.
But it is essentially a run under.
It's very slow to kill yourself here, yeah.
Yeah, so that was X4, X 100%. Thank you for watching.
All right, well, thank you for that run, MopeyJoe. That was an awesome run. We have $100 from Cause Effect. Love watching these Mega Man speed runs. Thank you.